The BHTA says the sewage spill on the south coast is unacceptable and calls for an urgent solution. Our top story, the Barbados Today Evening News for Thursday, December 7. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. The Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association is warning that the ongoing sewage problems on the south coast could potentially cost Barbados millions of dollars in visitor receipts if it is not addressed urgently. The BHTA's CEO, Rudy Grant, said in a statement this afternoon that one of its members has already reportedly lost customers because of the situation. Grant says this is occurring on the eve of the busy winter season, and it is not the image of Barbados that the association wishes to present to visitors. He added that the BHTA's concerns are not only about the impact on the tourism industry, but also on the welfare and well-being of Barbadians and visitors. Grant says there is need for an immediate short-term remedy and plan to ensure the situation does not escalate. The association is also calling for a remedial plan to clean the streets, as well as a medium to long-term plan to effectively deal with any recurrence. Grant says the BHTA has met with the Barbados Water Authority and is prepared to work with them to find a solution. Earlier this week, Water Resources Management Minister Dr. David Estwick said government will seek outside help in a bid to address the situation. One economist says the ruling Democratic Labour Party should not be judged harshly for Barbados' 19 downgrades in the past 9 years. The head of the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute for Social and Economic Studies, Dr. Don Marshall, argues that credit ratings are not an accurate litmus test of the fiscal competence of a government.
Basically, the parameters for how we assess our government is set by the ways in which we have accepted as common sense the approaches to handling our public finances. If the country has lost investment grade, if the country also is marked by high debt to GDP ratios, we see that as a failing weakness on the part of the regime. Now, I'm not saying that there's something fundamentally wrong with that. What I'm saying is that when this is privileged as the central preoccupying test of what national governments are supposed to be about, I say it runs counter to an understanding that the responsibility of government is to ensure that there is a robust economic, political and social developmental plan in place.
Marshall was delivering an address this week on the topic Sustainable Caribbean Futures, Challenges of Sovereignty and Fiscal Governance. The Freundel-Stewart administration is being told that it should not be surprised at its inclusion on a new list of global tax havens. The list, which was released by the European Union earlier this week, includes 3 other Caribbean countries. The Shadow Minister of International Business, Kerry told Barbados Today that government failed to put its house in order. He said the EU warned almost 10 years ago that government's fiscal incentive regimes were to be amended, and they had already granted extensions up to 2015.
But the fact of the matter is that the European Union has been insisting that they receive from us clear and easily defined undertakings, and that must come in the form of draft legislation. You must be able to demonstrate that you have done something conclusively, taken concrete steps, not just a mere promise.
A mere commitment would not suffice.
Pardon?
A mere commitment would not have sufficed.
Oh no, the government has to take concrete steps. And what Minister Innes is saying is that they sent a letter. But the European Union is not going to be moved by a letter from Barbados, because Barbados has been begging for time for the last 8 years. And you just can't kick the can down the road repeatedly.
Sports now. Chelsea Tuac has advanced to the semi-finals of the Pan American Surfing Games being held in Peru. She will face the defending gold medalist Anali Gomez from Peru and Argentina's #1 server Josefine Ane in the next round of the tournament. And in cricket, excellent bowling by Shaquan Bell propelled Bailey's Primary to a 3rd straight Guardian Group Herman Griffith cricket title today. Playing in the 40th final of the competition, which was an all St. Philip affair at Empire Club, Bank Hall, the defending champions won the toss and elected to bat. And they scored 103 for 8 in their 25 overs. Reynolds Weeks, meanwhile, were dismissed for 19. The skipper, Michael Greenidge, took 8 for 16.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region, and we go to Jamaica, where Prime Minister Andrew Holness has apologized to residents of West Kingston who were affected by the operations of security forces in May 2010. In a statement to Parliament, Holness expressed regret for the pain and the loss which occurred during the operation, including those who were killed. We get the details from TVJ News.
May 2010, a massive operation in West Kingston to capture drug kingpin Christopher Dudu-Skoke. 73 people were killed, and now a 4-part apology.
I stand here in this honourable House to unreservedly and unequivocally apologise to the people of Jamaica for the fear and uncertainty that defined that time, to the people of West Kingston, and in particular the residents of Tivoli Gardens and Denham Town, who were most affected through loss of life and damage to property and the pain they endured by the violence that took place.
An apology too to the security forces who faced high levels of violence and to the families of those persons injured or killed. Mr. Holness said the state learned an expensive lesson. Even under a state of emergency, the human rights of citizens should be respected. For opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips, he wants a serious discussion on the emergence of criminal networks in the political process.
I am not opposing an apology. I am saying we have unfinished business.
And finally, wildfires roared through residential areas in Southern California for a 4th day today as gusting winds hampered efforts to extinguish the flames. 200,000 people have been evacuated as the fires destroyed hundreds of homes and forced the closure of hundreds of schools. Authorities fear the fire would be whipped up by the region's notorious westward Santa Ana winds that could reach hurricane strength. And that's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good evening.